Welcome back to my YouTube channel, everyone, to today's special deep dive into the fascinating world of rare and valuable coins, where we uncover the secrets, stories, and surprising treasures hidden in everyday pocket change. And in this episode we are going to explore the amazing and almost unbelievable story of the 1995 1-cent coin that has been valued as high as $9 million because of its astonishing errors, minting mistakes, and the possibilities that make it one of the most sought after coins in the world. And while most people look at a penny and see nothing more than a small, almost worthless piece of copper-plated zinc, collectors know that sometimes a single coin can hold within it a combination of rarity, history, and uniqueness that elevates its value to heights no ordinary person would ever imagine. And the 1995 penny is one of those incredible cases, because this was the year when one of the most famous double-die varieties of the Lincoln cent was produced, and even though the double-die obverse of 1995 is fairly well known among collectors, only a small handful of extreme examples exist where the doubling is so dramatic, the preservation is so flawless, and the circumstances of minting are so unusual that their value soars into the millions. And to understand why such a coin could be worth $9 million, we need to explore in detail what makes the 1995 cent so special, what kind of errors and mistakes occurred, and how these features combine to create something far beyond ordinary. So let's start with the most famous error of this year, which is the 1995 double-die obverse, a variety that shows dramatic doubling in the phrase liberty and in the motto "In God We Trust," and this doubling is not minor or subtle but bold enough to be seen even with the naked eye, which is why it caught the attention of collectors quickly after release. And while many of these coins are worth from a few hundred to a few $1,000s depending on condition, the ultra-rare versions that combine the double die with additional errors or were struck on unusual planchets can command unimaginable sums. And now imagine a 1995 double die cent that was struck on a transitional copper planchet weighing 3.11 grams instead of the standard 2.5 grams zinc planchet used after 1982. And while such errors are extremely rare, they do occur when leftover copper blanks somehow make their way into the minting presses, and a 1995 double die on a copper planchet would be an extraordinary numismatic treasure worth millions. And if that coin also happened to be struck slightly off-center or show signs of a dramatic die clash where the dies hit each other without a blank between them transferring images between obverse and reverse, then the uniqueness of the coin multiplies, and uniqueness is what drives value in the world of rare coins. Because collectors and investors crave one-of-a-kind pieces, and when an error coin is not only rare but unique, meaning no other identical example exists, its value can reach record-breaking levels, and this is precisely what we see in the 1995 penny that sold for or was valued at $9 million, a combination of rarity, dramatic doubling, potential transitional metal, flawless preservation, and perhaps multiple striking anomalies. And preservation or condition must always be emphasized, because a coin with heavy wear, scratches, or damage will never reach astronomical prices even if it carries a rare error. So when we talk about the $9 million 1995 cent, we are speaking about a coin that has been preserved in near-perfect mint state condition, graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC as MS-68 or MS-69, showcasing blazing luster, sharp details, and free of marks, making it a gem on top of being a spectacular error variety. And collectors know that population rarity, meaning how many coins exist in a certain grade, is one of the strongest drivers of value. So if only one or two examples exist of a 1995 double die in superb gem condition with extreme errors, the bidding wars among wealthy collectors and investors would easily push the price into the millions. And the story does not end there, because there are other errors associated with the 1995 cent, such as broad strikes where the coin was struck without a collar and expanded beyond its normal rim, off-center strikes where only part of the design appears and the rest of the planchet remains blank, multiple strikes where the coin was struck 2 or 3 times in different positions creating a dramatic overlapping image, capped die errors where a coin sticks to the die and strikes subsequent coins leaving ghost-like impressions, and wrong planchet errors where the 1995 cent might have been struck on a dime planchet, a foreign coin blank, or even an experimental test piece. And these unusual scenarios are what fuel the imagination and excitement of collectors who are always on the hunt for the next great discovery. And the truth is, many of these coins still hide in plain sight in old collections, bank rolls, or jars of change, waiting to be discovered by someone with a sharp eye and the knowledge to recognize them. and that possibility adds an element of treasure hunting to the hobby of numismatics, because everyone dreams of finding a fortune in their pocket change, and every once in a while it actually happens. And when news breaks of such a discovery, the entire collecting community buzzes with excitement, and in the case of the 1995 cent, the fame of the double die obverse has already made it one of the most searched for modern pennies, but only the most extreme, rarest, and best preserved examples could ever reach the legendary value of $9 million. And so when we ask why such a small coin could be worth so much, we must remember that value in numismatics is not based on face value or intrinsic metal content but on rarity, demand, uniqueness, condition, and the story behind the coin, and the 1995 penny has all of these elements in abundance, from the historical significance of being one of the last great double dies of the Lincoln Memorial Series, to the fascination of transitional planchet errors, to the drama of striking mistakes, and the thrill of flawless preservation, and together these elements make it a superstar in the collecting world. And we must also consider the role of auctions and private sales in driving up values, because when a one-of-a-kind coin comes to market, wealthy collectors, investors, and even institutions compete fiercely to acquire it, pushing the price higher and higher, and that competition is what transforms a rare coin into a multi-million-dollar treasure, and it is worth remembering that coin collecting is one of the oldest and most respected hobbies in the world, often called the hobby of kings. And throughout history, rare coins have been prized possessions, passed down through generations, displayed in museums, and used as stores of wealth, and the 1995 penny valued at $9 million fits perfectly into this tradition because it represents not only money but also history, chance, and human error captured in a tangible object that survives through time. And so when you hold or even imagine holding such a coin, you are not just looking at a piece of metal but at a story of how imperfection can become perfection in the eyes of collectors, how mistakes can turn into miracles, and how something designed to be ordinary can end up extraordinary. And this is why we share stories like this, to inspire curiosity, to encourage careful observation, and to remind everyone that treasures still exist out there waiting to be found. And if you have a 1995 penny in your collection or pocket change, take a closer look, weigh it, examine it under magnification, check for doubling in the lettering, inspect for off-center strikes or unusual features, because you never know if you might be holding one of the rarest coins in existence, a coin that could be worth a fortune. And this possibility is what makes numismatics so endlessly fascinating, because it blends history, art, chance, and value into a single pursuit. And so the story of the 1995 penny worth $9 million will continue to captivate collectors and dreamers alike, inspiring searches, fueling discoveries, and keeping alive the excitement of the hunt. And every time such a coin is discussed or shown, it reminds us that no coin should ever be overlooked, because sometimes the smallest details make the biggest difference, and sometimes a single penny can change everything. And so we close this journey into the 1995 cent with the reminder that errors, mistakes, and possibilities are what make coins valuable, and that within the world of coin collecting the ordinary can become extraordinary, and that perhaps the next great discovery could be in your very hands right now if only you take the time to look.